What is up, guys? It's your friendly neighbor Weaver here, coming at you once again, this time with another top 5. It's Aarin's birthday, and I need to do something to celebrate it, or else, of course, some kind of wrath from the sky will rain down upon me, like that one time many years ago when a tornado there was a tornado that went by my house where I was living at the time on Aarin's birthday because I didn't do anything. I know it for a fact, so here we are to and to just celebrate because Aarin is great. So let's get into it. The 5 reasons why channel is arguably the best Aarin solo live concert ever.
Number 5.
When it was announced that Ayaka Nation 2020 was cancelled due to the corona pandemic, many people were understandably disappointed. Ayaka Nation had always been something for people like me to look forward to seeing and enjoying every year, and the fact that it had to be cancelled reminded people that not even Aarin had the power to continue forward with her popular concert series. Or did she? In the early months of the pandemic in Japan, Aarin became a YouTuber of sorts, calling her program channel. This was an effort to help continue to keep people's spirits up in that uncomfortable time of quarantines and closures and general uncertainty. What if Ayaka Nation 2020 could live on in the world of streaming? That's one of the truly admirable things about channel. The fact that in such a relatively short span of time, they were able to round up all the staff, equipment, and general infrastructure to bring people the closest thing to an Ayaka Nation concert via the streaming medium. Not only is it commendable, but it also embodies the ever famous Sasaki Pro character Aarin is known for.
Number 4.
Speaking of staff, equipment, and infrastructure, the production value of this concert is quite impressive. On a semi-related note, I have seen at least one of the Mariah Carey Christmas specials, the recent ones at least, and while those were ambitious in scope, there were some issues in the overall production that made it feel slapped together and a little disorganized. channel, on the other hand, while not necessarily as ambitious, trades the sense of scope for maximizing the overall quality of the final product. As a live production, it is really easy to mess it up, and while it is clear that they were minding the inherent limitations of an exclusively streamed concert versus a conventional arena concert, channel has no discernible errors in the production that I could tell, and contrastly, some of the set pieces they do have were actually quite impressive. I think most people would have been okay if it would have just taken place on a single stage with the regular costume changes and animated intermissions, but they really went above and beyond with the number of different locations the concert went to, that the final product ends up being quite impressive as a result. Some of the most celebrated works of art are the ones that are confined to certain restrictions, and that it's because of how they play within those restrictions that is part of what makes them so great. I would argue that channel can fit into that category as well.
Number 3.
The animated intermission shorts all make their glorious comeback here, as we would expect. It might just be me, but I think these are probably the funniest they have ever been. They are all very Aarin. So Aarin, in fact, that even Aarin isn't as Aarin as them. It's great, and I found myself looking forward to these segments just as much as the concert performances themselves.
Number 2.
Seeing how the then new songs off of Aarin Assort translated live was great. It's quite nostalgic to hear these songs because I still distinctly remember listening to the album so often while driving in the early Japanese summer heat and experiencing them again now. Only seeing them live is undoubtedly fantastic.
And the number 1 thing on today's list.
Aarin's vocal performances are, dare I say, perfect in this concert. I'm seriously impressed with Aarin's vocal performances in this concert. While of course the choreography is toned down on her part for the purpose of vocal stability, her vocal style has definitely matured in a way that has allowed her to put on performances that make it difficult to tell if it's live or if it's the studio recording. Aarin is nothing short of simply an amazing talent. And so there it is. Those are my 5 reasons why I believe Channel is the best Aarin solo live ever of all of the ones that we've had. Of course, you could probably debate it, right? I mean, Ayaka Nation 2017 is still... But as far as this concert goes, I really felt like everything was just... I don't know, the pacing was perfect. It didn't feel like 2 hours and 13 minutes. I think that's the length of it. Didn't feel like 2 hours and 13 minutes. It felt like it was only maybe not even half that, maybe a quarter of that. And it was impressive. It was really impressive to see just how everything almost seamlessly came together for what I understand to be a live broadcast sort of event. Of course, it wasn't broadcast TV. It was on I think Abema Live or something like that. Funny enough, I tried to watch that, but for some reason I couldn't. I can't remember why. I know it was July 12th. I was kind of expecting that like Kaneko would kind of show up and meme out or something. For some reason I had that idea that she was going, because it was Kaneko's birthday, but it didn't happen. But that's okay. That's totally fine. Also, I gotta give a shout out to those backup dancers. I know Amefurash and I forgot who the others were, but they all helped really give a lot of life to this live performance. I know I used to, kind of rag on the background, the backup dancers in the past, but I don't know. In this context, I think, well, at least maybe I've softened up. I don't know, but they really, really added a lot of pizzazz, I guess, with their performance or their execution of the choreography. Because, of course, again, Aarin's choreography isn't really as intense. So, like, bringing them in there to sort of do it full on, as backup dancers, it really helps to, emphasize the movements, and it really does compliment Aarin in her performances a lot in that regard. So I really have to give them a shout out as well. But there's just so much great about this concert. It's really too bad that it was once again locked behind sort of a fan club membership paywall, and like you can only be a member with a Japanese account, a fan club account, in order to get it. I mean, I think I understand why, like, from a logistical, like a purely like logistical point of view, but at the same time, I mean, we're in a globalized world now, and not only is Abema like refusing to make most of their like streams that people want to actually see available outside of Japan, but like you can't watch the live broadcast or the archive of the live broadcast, and then when the DVD and Blu-ray comes out, you can't even get those because you need a Japanese fan club membership in order to do that. And I know that's the same thing that they did with the new the Ayaka Nation 2021 that's coming out really soon. I got that on pre-order, of course, but at the same time, it's not fair for the, because I mean, I understand that there aren't like a huge number of overseas fans, like I get that, but at the same time, I feel like, you know, I don't, you're kind of not pushing people away, but it's really going to discourage a lot of people, you know, from trying to buy any of the CDs or things if you're going to lock so much of it behind, you know, memberships and paywalls that, you know, they can't get past just because of the region that they live in, you know. And, you know, this wasn't even a thing. Like, I know I'm making a rant out of this, but it just, I still don't understand why we're still doing this, I guess. Because, like, the first two, and even, like, 2019 weren't, you know, they were available everywhere, but 2018, A-Channel, 2020, and now 2021, all, you know, restricted. And I'm not entirely sure why, but, you know, GG. I made a video kind of making fun of that in the past, so, yeah. In any event, this is still a fantastic concert. You know, if you can find it anywhere, I highly suggest watching it. If you can, I don't know, stream it from somewhere, or maybe there's a, I don't know, used copy that someone is kind enough to resell, or whatever, however you can get your hands on it, I would highly suggest watching it, because it is really one of the best Aarin solo concerts I've seen. It's definitely worth watching. So yeah, I'll see you next time with something new. In the meantime,